Hi everyone. The main goal of any athlete is to win all of their competitions. At the cost of a long and hard training, these people stand on the podium. But not all athletes choose the right path, and even the judges cheat sometimes. In today's video, we've brought together some real cheaters in the sports field. These people didn't hesitate to ignore the rules and were then caught. Ready to see them? Then let's get it on. Marwin Hitz. Can you cheat when you're at the goal during a penalty shootout? Well, it's very simple, but you'll have to prepare in advance. At the start of the second half of the match, the referee ordered a penalty kick against Augsburg, but the referee's decision didn't seem fair to goalkeeper Marwin Hitz. The players were so angry about the referee's decision that they received 3 yellow cards in 3 minutes. But while the public's attention was focused on the players' argument, Marwin Hitz, the Augsburg goalkeeper, used the time to the fullest. Discreetly for the eyes of the others, he dug the entire lawn around the white spot with his boots, forming a small hole, and the action was very successful. The unevenness of the pitch affected Cologne striker Anthony Modeste, who slipped and fell after the shot. The shot was very weak, and Hitz managed to stop the ball. This moment also seems to have become a turning point in the game.
Hitz makes the save, it stays 0-0.
Augsburg finally won 1-0. After the match, Hitz confessed that what he'd done wasn't right and assured that it wouldn't happen again. Lionel Messi. One of the most famous football goals in history is known as the Hand of God and was scored by Diego Maradona in the 51st minute of the 1986 World Cup quarter-final match against England. The ball, which bounced off the foot of the English defender, flew into the penalty area, where Maradona hit it with his left fist, sending the ball into the goal. The referee thought the goal had been scored with the head, and despite the indignation of the English players, it was validated. And in 2007, Messi scored a point similar to Maradona's famous goal, with his hand in a beautiful jump. It's not very fair, but it's incredibly spectacular. Dwight Howard. Houston Rockets Hawks striker Paul Millsap called the judge's attention to the fact that the ball was stained with something sticky. After the game, the athlete said it was the strangest feeling of his career. "I've never felt the ball like that ever. It was sticky. It was like super glue or something was on it. I couldn't get it off my hands." The referee, Monty McCutcheon, went to the bench to remind the teams that such substances were banned in the NBA. It was quickly discovered that it was Dwight Howard who used the sticky substance before entering the field. The athlete confessed that he had a can of special sticky content. He also said he'd been using the substance for several years and was surprised that it had only been discovered at that time. After the incident, the referees replaced the ball and the game ended with Houston's 97-109 loss. Joe Niekro. Bringing foreign objects to the baseball field is not a good idea, especially if it's sandpaper to scuff up the ball. The umpire suspected something was wrong with the ball when he picked it up with his hand. The surface was slightly damaged, but the most surprising thing about this situation is Niekro's reaction. After the emery board was found in his pocket, he tried to turn his back pockets beautifully and spectacularly to show that they were empty, and at the same time to get rid of the pieces of sandpaper. It turned out to be so notorious and ridiculous that even the commentators laughed, and Niekro was sent to the bench.
Do a search like this, quite like this before.
Will Smith. No, we're not talking about the actor, but about the famous baseball player. No matter what you say, baseball's a very popular game all over the world. Its rules are simple, so learning them's no big deal, even for kids. But in this case, something seems to have gone a bit wrong. Will Smith was automatically disqualified for using pine tar, which, according to the match commentator, is banned in baseball because it significantly improves the player's control over the ball. The umpire noticed in time that Smith's hand, as well as the glove, was covered with a strange and very suspicious substance. After touching the substance, he understood what it was and at the same time made a decision. The athlete left the court very angry, and the game continued without his participation. A
foreign substance on the glove.
Mike Tomlin. But it's not just the players who cheat on the pitch. Sometimes the coaches do too. For example, Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin was fined $100,000 for going out on the field.
Serious?
Well, coming out on the field sounds pretty harmless, but Mike's actions, accidentally or intentionally, forced a player on the opposing team to change the trajectory of movement, something very important in American football. There he is, literally getting in the way. In an official statement, Tomlin admitted his guilt and stated that he wouldn't contest the fine. Tim Donaghy. As we've already said, some referees don't refuse to cheat either, although they are supposed to be the ones who watch over the honesty in sport. Thus, in July 2007, the reports of an FBI investigation were made public, claiming that one of the NBA referees, Tim Donaghy, was addicted to gambling and was betting on the games he himself was handling. Donaghy's actions influenced the outcome and the difference in the score. The report also mentions that Donaghy began using his position for his own benefit in 2005, but this case gained even more resonance after Donaghy himself claimed that he acted in the interests of the NBA to influence match results. That is, that he did what the administration told him to do. In July 2008, Donaghy was sentenced to 15 months in prison. In the course of the investigation after the scandal, it turned out that each of the NBA's 56 judges violated the contract prohibiting participation in gambling at least once. Kenny Perry. Even in golf, you can cheat. But what kind of a trap can you commit in a game with a stick, a ball, and a hole? Well, it's too simple. But professional golfer Kenny Perry found a way. See for yourself. Chances are the average person unfamiliar with the rules of golf won't notice anything unusual about the situation. After all, the player doesn't move the ball with his foot or anything like that. He doesn't touch it at all. He just flattens the high grass around. But that's what's wrong. According to the rules, the player shouldn't do anything with the field, be it dirt, grass, or any shrub. Wherever the ball goes, it's going to have to be pulled out of there with a stroke. Of course, the tall grass definitely bothered Perry when it came to hitting the ball, so he decided to fix the ground a bit. Well, either he just wanted the public to see the ball better. Anyway, it's a big mistake. Dong Fangxiao. At the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games, Dong Fangxiao won a bronze medal with the Chinese team. Well, good for her. Even bronze at the Olympic Games is a very good achievement for any athlete. Later, however, it turned out that there was a lot of falsification of documents. Dong's personal blog says he was born in the year of the bull in the Eastern horoscope. The year of the bull lasted from February 20th, 1985 to February the 8th, 1986. Thus, according to these personal records, she was between 14 and 15 years old during the 2000 Olympic Games. But according to the rules, gymnasts under the age of 16 can't participate in the Olympic Games. It should be noted that rivals and independent experts have repeatedly accused China's women's national team of playing illegally at the Olympic Games. Based on the blog entries, an in-depth investigation was conducted and the medals were redistributed. It happened 10 years after the Olympic Games, and the research was very thorough. In 2010, China's women's team that had won third place were deprived of prizes, and the bronze went to the United States. Musa Kamara. But here we have the funniest and most unusual case of sports cheating that we could find. We have to admit that even the use of doping is not compared to the possibility of using paranormal forces to win. This happened in the match between Mukura and Rayon Sports in Rwanda. At the end of the first half, Rayon Sports was losing against its rival 1-0. An attacker from the losing team made a strange decision just before the break. He ran to the opponent's goalpost, put something close to the base, and started running from the opposing team. No wonder, because they were so outraged by such actions that they literally wanted to kick his butt. The reaction was justified, as the superstitious players claimed that the striker had bewitched the goal. But the most interesting thing is that the players' fears came true, and at the beginning of the second half, Kamara evened the score. What's more, the story didn't even end there. After the match, the Rwandan Football Association decided to impose a fine of 100,000 Rwandan francs for witchcraft during the match. If it's proved that the club participated in the ritual, the fine will be 2.9 million Rwandan francs. Sammy Sosa. Samuel Kelvin Peralta Souza, or simply Sammy Sosa, is a Dominican baseball player with a rather controversial reputation. He was considered a pretty talented player and played on several famous teams, but in 2003, he was caught cheating. After hitting the ball, Sammy broke the bat due to negligence, and its remains caught the attention of the judges.
3-2. Bouncing ball up the middle. Run's going to score.
After studying the wood in more detail, they came to the conclusion that Sammy had used a corked bat, something considered illegal in baseball. The fact is that many baseball players, including Sousa, believe that a baseball bat with a cork bar inside adds distance when hitting the ball. To make a corked bat, you need to drill a hole in the top of the bat with a diameter of about 2.5 centimeters and a depth of 25 centimeters. The cork rod is then placed, closed from above with a wooden bar, glued and leveled with sandpaper. Sound weird? Well, because it is. But even though physicists talk about the absurdity of the idea of such bats, some players still use them.
Psst, dude, are you looking for new technologies and great gadgets? Are your thoughts focused on the future? Do you love huge vehicles and can't imagine your life without robots around you? Then visit TechZone and you'll find all this and more. The link is in the description. You interested? Great.